Welcome back to the layout, everyone. This is going to be an update on some of the things that I've sort of been doing. Not as much progress has happened that I would have liked to, but I figured I'd at least make a video to give everyone an update as to where we're at. Funny enough, I was actually recording with an actual camera there, and I finally found a little tripod, but right as I was halfway through recording, the battery died, and there's just... I actually don't have the charger with me right now, so... That worked for the past few videos, but it's back to the iPhone here, so bear with me. But anyway, as for the MTH Gevo, still not sure what I'm going to do with it, but it is really growing on me, so I might just hold on to that. I did use this Loksound Select decoder. It was $79.99, and it was a fairly easy install. I have a few videos that I took as I was making that, so I might compile those together and upload that in the upcoming days or weeks or whatever. We'll see. Not really sure. I used these speakers, these Loksound 28mm round 4-ohm speakers. They came in this little housing, which I didn't use because there's a housing inside the fuel tank for the MTH locomotive. I did have to modify the fuel tank housing a little bit. The decoders were, the speakers were just a little bit thick, so I had to shave down some of the inside to make all that fit, but I eventually did that. I don't think I mentioned that in my other videos that I recorded that haven't been uploaded yet, but in any case, that's the deal with that. These DCC decoders that I got, these great little things, 2-function forward and back headlight things, they didn't really fit in anything except my Atlas Trainman locomotive. I was going to go return them, but that was going to be the trip where I also got scenery materials, and none of that happened. It just, it didn't work out. It will at some point, it just didn't happen today, which, that's fine. Plenty of time. So, I still have those. I don't know what I'm going to do with them because I really have no use for them right now, but that may change, or if someone wants me to install DCC and program it for them, that's a possibility. I really don't know. But if you're in need of decoders, feel free to send me an email. I gotta believe that's a pretty good price on there, $15.99, you know, a little bit of shipping, whatever. So yeah. The other thing that happened, I got this in the mail today, was I traded my Atlas -840CW in Santa Fe, the war bonnet paint scheme, and I got an undecorated model here. And I'm actually really excited for that because my favorite project I've ever really done down here was a custom painting of an SD60, which was undecorated. And funny enough, this actually came from the same guy that I did that undecorated project from, except this time I actually get to keep it. The original story with my -8 was I wanted to get a Conrail locomotive. That was the first real locomotive I ever wanted to get for these model railroads, but it just never happened. Other things got in the way, and here we are with all this and still no Conrail locomotive. So I'm finally going to build my own. Well, build it, I mean it's mostly assembled, but I'll paint it and get decals and stuff myself. I have noticed that the floquil paints and stuff, apparently they were discontinued a few years ago. I guess the last time I ever really worked on stuff a lot. So I sort of missed that. I'm aware of a few other companies. I think there's True Color and Model something. There's an X in there, I'm not sure. But if any of you have experience with paints, I really want to find one that is a close match to whatever real Conrail is, or Atlas Conrail, since I have that GP38-2. So this is a Silver Series, so it just is DCC ready, I guess. It might not even be, I think it's DCC ready. Let's see, what does this say on there? Yeah, it's got an 8-pin plug, so I'll probably end up putting a Loksound or a Tsunami decoder in here. Really not sure how I want to go with that. I really like the sound and the quality of Loksound, and the ability to upload and download sounds is great. The only problem is I don't have the Lok programmer to plug into the computer, so I haven't really been able to do too much with that yet. But so it's kind of one of those, it's great, but you need a whole bunch of other stuff for it. So if any of you have experience with the Lok programmer, let me know. If you know someone who's trying to get rid of one, maybe also let me know. Because I feel like that could be a great thing. I just, I don't want to pour a ton of money into something that I won't really use that much. So that's that. Here, I actually worked on my Athearn Genesis SD70ACe. Moving there. I wired it back up, and I don't have the lights connected because I think I'm going to put LEDs in there. But I did, I rewired the speaker, all the power leads and everything, and all the wires are back on. So let's see if I can... There we go. As you can hear, it's working. Slow speed performance is, as you see there, pretty good, although I will say after this MTH locomotive I've been working with, I'm not as impressed with the Athearn, although I remember when I first got the Athearn I thought it's great, and it still is, no doubt. Track is pretty dirty, but so I've been very pleased with that. Here I have my MTH GEVO up next to my Intermountain GEVO, and you know, I think I actually sort of stopped giving Intermountain as much credit as they deserved, because once I pulled this number 7519 back out of the box, I really like it again. I don't really know if I ever stopped. I don't know what happened there, but definitely like it. That is going to stay here. They look great together, these two. Now this one on the left is the MTH, and this is the Intermountain. I tried to touch on this in my last video, but if you look here, from directly above, you can still see the orange paint going around the edge of the nose there. And that was missing on the Intermountain. I don't know if you guys saw my other video on the Intermountain when I still had it, but that was one of my biggest disappointments with it. It just sort of, everything else was perfect on it, but it just sort of felt a little cheapened. Kind of like molded grab irons instead of actual ones. Now obviously everything else on the model was flawless, but that was very disappointing, along with, I just felt the color of the BNSF paint was off. It seemed a little too, I don't know, faded maybe. But this seems to match very well with the Athearn, and Athearn has always seemed to have great paint. So there's that. Normally, and this is going to seem stupid and small, but normally I really like red on the MU cables, kind of like the Intermountain has there. And that's yellow, and I didn't really like that, but it's coming around to me. I think it's a very small thing, so, but I think it looks good with the, you know, the yellow highlights in the BNSF paint. So that's good. As you can see, the SD70ACe has been weathered. I sort of gave myself now a no weathering policy on my own locomotives, just because after a while I sort of want them to look new again, and it's kind of hard to go backwards. So I'll still gladly weather your stuff for you, if you want me to, certainly. But as far as my own weathering goes, I think I'm going to leave at least these Evolution locomotives. I'm going to leave them alone. I think they look pretty good. So we'll compare the lighting here. Let's see if we can focus in on that. I think definitely the MTH gets a little bit better lighting. Of course, it's hard to tell with the white face on the Norfolk Southern unit there, but MTH definitely has better lighted ditch lights. They're both good though, to be honest. I have no problems with either of them. I won't be running them together either, so it's not a big deal. What I will show you here though, I'm gonna come over here on the this thing, plug in 7519. Let's just back it up a little bit. Now I'm gonna put it on as low of a speed step as I can find. So that's pretty good. And then I'm gonna quick flip over to 3. And I'll show you a comparison. These are both the same speeds. Now they're moving at the same throttle, but as you can see, the MTH is a little slower. Let's see if I can slow this down anymore. So here we go. These are both definitely very slow now. I mean, those are just creeping along. I don't know if this test has really been performed before. I mean, obviously a slow speed test has, but they are both very great performing models. I still know which I would recommend higher. Frankly, if I were a DCC user, I would probably, and I didn't have a ton of tools or experience with stuff, I would probably recommend the Intermountain model for you, just because detail-wise there's virtually no difference, at least not that I've been able to find. And then the install for the BNSF GEVO, it wasn't difficult, but it definitely did take a little bit of work, and it was also more expensive. It ended up with tax and speakers and everything, it probably came out to be about $250 to $260, whereas you could get an Intermountain GEVO with Loksound now. I don't have a Loksound GEVO, this one has soundtraxx, but you could get that for what, $220, something like that, probably even cheaper on eBay. So I'll run these back now. So that's just something to consider. Oh, shoot, wrong button. Definitely something to consider. So if I were, see, if you're watching this and you're debating between the MTH or the Intermountain, and you don't have experience or tools or anything, but you want sound, definitely, and you have DCC, definitely, I'd say the Intermountain. It just seems to be the best all-around package. However, the MTH is a bit heavier, and if you have the time and the dedication and the tools and the interest, it is a great locomotive, especially for BNSF. It seems to have a little bit better paint than the Intermountain did. Now, I don't know if Intermountain ever changed their paint on the BNSF. I saw a video once on YouTube where it looked like they did, but I'm really not sure. So, very happy with the MTH here. I'll turn the, let's see, I'll stop both these locomotives. Move this one forward so to get them staggered here. Very, very smooth. The smoothest engine I've probably ever seen. So here, I'll start it up here. So obviously very good quality sound. I put cotton behind the speakers to sort of deaden it, give it a little bit more bass and clarity. I think it really sounds a little bit better now. I saw that, I think it was Radius Prime is the YouTube user who did that originally, but it definitely sounds good. Give it a little bit of power there, starts creeping forward. I still need to make the ditch lights not flash, but I read in the manual that apparently that is a function that can only be done with the Loksound programmer. I'm not entirely sure, or a programming track, which I don't have at the moment. So we'll see. In any case, very pleased with it. It was expensive. If I were to sell it on eBay, I'd have to charge probably offensive rates for people to actually buy that. But it was a great project, and it definitely is something that I would probably do again if I needed another locomotive. Although with this Conrail locomotive, I think I've got just about everything I need. So, those of you who were hoping for a new locomotive, might have to wait a little while on that, but we'll see. Anything can happen. So I'm going to turn on the Intermountain Gevo now. All great locomotives. The only one I'm still not sure about, and I think I would suggest against, is the Athearn. Just because there was so much work involved with that. And the lights, they go out, and then you take it apart, and wires break. It's just a real pain. I will give, the other thing that I really liked about the Intermountain was the shell is so easy to take off. Unbelievably easy. You just have to disconnect the handrails, and it lifts straight up. Which was really nice. Some locomotives, it's a crazy thing that how hard it can be to get those shells off. And if you're inexperienced, you can just break wires so easily. So that's definitely something to consider. So if you're sort of getting into the hobby and you want to step up a little bit now, I highly recommend the Intermountain. But if you're sort of well seasoned, definitely the MTH I think might end up being more of a fun thing for you to have. I really don't know. You know, they're both great. It's hard to pin one down. So I'm not going to, but unless you're new, in which case I recommend the Intermountain. So these are pretty much my three flagship locomotives I've got here. I'm hoping to add the Conrail in at some point. I'm going to run the the MTH or some Gevo, whether I end up selling this one or I'm not sure what'll happen, but the two BNSFs will be run together, and I'll have a Conrail -8 and a Norfolk Southern Gevo, and I'll run those two together when I finally get rid of these layouts and start anew. So that's what the latest is with those. Let me put these lights back on. There we go. That looks better. Haven't done anything with the track here. I might pull the duct tape off just to prevent glue damage or whatever, because I don't know when the next time exactly I'll be able to work on this is. But very pleased with how this all turned out. I think the little box holder thing is good. Whether or not that'll stay, I'm not sure, but it was temporary, but it seems to be working well. This is sort of the scenery feel I'm going for here, if that makes sense. You know, you got the little trees, like that, and that's all good. Up here, sort of the same thing. I gotta get bushes and I'll put more rocks in. But these little short cars are great for this lower radius track. This is obviously very short, and that is as well. This is, that doesn't belong, it's just there. So back there, we'll zoom in, you can see more of the detail on the rock. So those were the rocks I was working on. They turned out really great. If I would have taken a little bit more time, I think they would have been even better, but I'm certainly not complaining. I think that'll be good, especially once I start getting bushes and some more green sort of coverage on there. That brown paint you see up there, that needs to go. Originally I actually thought the brown paint was a good idea, but I think it sort of clashes too much with the turf, and it's too obvious, whereas even if you leave it white, it can be convincingly like dirt, or if you use these sort of earth color pigments, which I'm sure Woodland Scenics would have loved to tell you to do that from the start, but you try things different, you experiment around, that's just what you got to do. But these are the paints I used. I used burnt and raw umber, and I actually didn't use the green undercoat yet, but that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the plaster cloth up around here, just because green undercoat and the dirt that Woodland Scenics has, when you use it as a wash, it just looks a little bit better than that sort of really contrasting dark brown there, I think. So we'll see. Still very pleased with all of it. Your comments and questions and advice has all been well appreciated. Don't buy the little carving tools that they sell. You can buy this at Target for like $6. It comes with a normal brush to get all the dust off, and this, which carves the little strata lines in there. It's really simple. I might upload a video of a time lapse of the carving I did, but we'll see. It depends what the interest level is. We'll see. So that's pretty much about it. I hope to get working on some of this stuff soon. I'm going to order some parts for this Atlas locomotive pretty much as soon as I can. Apparently I need to get an exhaust thing, so I'm sure Details West or some company like that will have it. Again, if you know anything about the Conrail paint, that would be appreciated. If you're interested in these decoders, let me know. If you have questions about the MTH install, let me know. Be happy to answer those or direct you to someone who might be able to help. Although I think it turned out pretty well for me here. Definitely a great locomotive, and it's been good. So this is pretty much all that's happened here. If you have any questions.